Hello students, I am Sunita Pawar, lecturer of ENC department, HAP and Trust Polytechnic, Nirsoshi. So today we will see the unit 1 of medical electronics, bioelectric signals. On this chapter we will see all the questions which are repeated in question paper. Also we will discuss the questions of a question bank. Now first we will see the first question, that is the explanation of a resting potential and a action potential with their typical values. So first we will see the resting potential. So this one is the figure for the resting potential. In the cell, that is the unit block of our human body. So inside and outside of the cell, electrolyte solution is present. In this solution, main principal charges are present like sodium, potassium and chloride ions. At the resting state, cell membrane have some characteristics, and because of these characteristics, sodium ions pump uh, sodium ions jump outside the cell, or sodium ions pump outside the cell. So because of this, the more positive ions are present outside the cell. So to balance this charge, some potassium ions try to enter into the cell. But this movement of potassium ions is very slow as compared to the sodium ions. And across the cell membrane potential is developed. And this potential is called as a resting potential. Whenever across the cell membrane we are connecting the electrodes, then it gives the potential generation, and its value is a minus 90 millivolt. And this potential is called as a resting potential of the cell. So with this diagram you have to write the explanation. So on this you are getting the question, this single resting potential for the 5 marks, otherwise it comes a combined question with the action potential. Now we'll see the action potential. So this one is a diagram for the action potential. When external stimulation is given to cell, then cell membrane changes its characteristics. Because of this change in characteristics, it allows sodium ions to enter into the cell. So concentration of sodium ions are more inside of the cell. This movement gives imbalance of charges. So to balance it, some potassium and chloride ions try to jump outside of the cell. But this movement is again very slow. So the concentration of positive ions is more inside of the cell as compared to the outside. Across the cell membrane, potential is developed. It measured by electrodes and it gives plus 20 millivolt. And this potential is called action potential. So this one is the diagram you have to draw for the action potential. This diagram you should be draw. Now we will see the cell potential waveform. So whenever you draw the waveform, then you should draw the correctly. So at the starting, this one is the resting potential you should show here. Then you are applying the current stimulation here. Once you are applying the current stimulation, then the potential across the cell is goes on increasing. See here up to 60 millivolt, minus 60 millivolt. Once it reach to the minus 60 millivolt, then you can remove the stimulation. Means up to that compulsory you should show the stimulation waveform, and after that only you can remove that stimulation. Then your potential is generated rapidly up to the plus 20 millivolt, and again you are getting the repolarization of the cell. So you should show the each one voltage values and notation for the each point. Now we will see the explanation. The time of action potential depends on the type of cell. In nerve and muscle, rapid repolarization is occurred. In the same way, in heart muscles, repolarization is slow as compared to the nerve and muscles. The ionic concentration gradient across the cell membrane is maintained by pumping ions between the inside and outside of the cell. This action is referred as a potassium sodium pump. To excite the cell, minimum stimulation is required, is called a stimulus threshold and is equal to the minus 60 millivolt. Two types of stimulations are used, voltage or current. If suppose you are using the short term, then intensity of the voltage or current is the higher. If suppose longer term pulse you are using for the stimulation, then intensity of the current or voltage is less. A stimulus voltage it generally does not affect a cell while it is changing its polarity. Once the cell is polarized, then action potential is generated. Following the generation of action potential, there is a brief time period is there, and that time period is called as a absolute refractory time period. So during this absolute refractory time period, if suppose you are given the stronger stimulation for the cell, then that stimulation is not having any effect on the cell. That time period is called as a absolute refractory time period. Following this absolute refractory time period, it occurs relative refractory time period. So during this time period, if suppose you are applying stronger stimulation to the cell, then cell itself remains into the action state only. So that time period is called as a relative refractory. So during this time, if suppose you are applying the stronger stimulation, then cell is again goes into the action state only. So in this, here the diagram in this waveform it's shown here. Starting without any stimulation, the cell is remains into the resting state. Whenever you are giving the external stimulation, then potential of the cell is increases towards the positive. So once this voltage is reached to the minus 60 millivolt, then after that point there is no need to give the external stimulation. So that's why that voltage is considered as a threshold voltage. Means still your voltage reach to the minus 60 millivolt, the external stimulation is required. Once this voltage is reached, then there is no need of the external stimulation. After this point, the potential is rapidly generated and it gets the plus 20 millivolt, and that one is the action potential of the cell. So from the resting state to the action state, which one process is there is called as a depolarization. Depolarization means it is the process of establishment of action state from the resting state. After the depolarization, or once you are getting the action potential, then we are getting the repolarization. Repolarization means what? The cell is again come back to the resting state. So the repolarization is nothing but the process of re-establishment of resting state from action state is called as a repolarization. So this diagram you have to draw neatly, and this question you are getting for the 10 marks. Now we will see the explanation of ECG waveform. So this one question you are getting either 5 marks or 10 marks. So this one is the diagram for the ECG waveform. In this ECG waveform there are main three waves are there, that is a P wave is there, QRS wave is there and T waves is there. And again there is a different intervals are there. PQ interval is there, then ST interval is there, then TP intervals are there. So these are the number of the intervals are present in this ECG waveform. So and this one amplitude in measured in terms of the millivolt. Now we'll see the explanation about the ECG waveform. ECG, it is a graphic recording or display of the time variant voltage generated by the muscles of a heart during cardiac cycle is called as a ECG. One complete heart or a cardiac cycle includes mainly three waves, that is a P wave, QRS wave and a T wave. P wave is atrial depolarization and contraction, means during the P wave both atria depolarized and contracted, and during this time we are getting the amplitude 0.1 to 0.3 millivolt. Next is the QRS wave. Complex, it is considered as a complex wave. So during this wave we are getting the both ventriculars depolarization and contraction, and at the same time we are getting the repolarization of both atria. So both one process is carried out at the same time. That's why this waveform is the complex wave is there. Next, T wave. T wave is represent repolarization of both ventricles. Next we will see the intervals. First, PQ interval. It indicates the time between the onset of atrial muscle depolarization and onset of ventricle muscle depolarization. Time 0.15 second to 0.16 second. That is the time period is there. QRS interval. It indicates the time between onset of ventricular muscle depolarization and onset of ventricular contraction. Time is 0.09 second. Next, ST interval. Time interval between the onset of ventricular muscle contraction and the start of ventricular repolarization. It's nothing but the ST interval is there. Time for this interval 0.05 to 0.15 second is there. TP interval. It is the time between two successive ventricular depolarization. T wave. This interval represents repolarization of both ventricles. Next, U wave is there. The presence of U wave is believed to be the result of after potential in the ventricular muscles. So this one is the explanation about the ECG waveform. This question you are getting for the 10 marks as well as for the 5 marks. In that you have to draw the waveform and you should write the explanation of each one. Next we will see the electroencephalogram. The recorded representation of bioelectric potential generated by the neuronal activity of the brain is called the electroencephalogram, that is a EEG. EEG waveforms for different states. First state is the awake and alert. When person is alert and awake, EEG waveform found to consist of asynchronized high frequency contents. It's above 13 Hertz and it considered as a beta wave. Second is the drowsy sleep. When person becomes drowsy with eye closed, EEG waveform consists of rhythmic variation in the range of 8 to 13 Hertz, that is alpha waves. Third, early sleep and deep sleep. In EEG waveform, the amplitude increases and the frequency goes on decreasing as the person moves from light sleep to deep sleep, and during this time we are getting the theta and delta waves, and the range of this one 0 to 8 hertz, that is a 0 to 3 hertz one, and 3 to 8 hertz are there. Paradoxical or rapid eye movement, that is the REM sleep is there. Sometimes an EEG taken during the sleep shows a high frequency pattern called paradoxical or rapid eye movement sleep, and during this we are getting the same as a beta waves. So this one you are getting because of the that person may be dreaming, or maybe something they are doing the calculation in the sleeping only. Next we will see the frequency bands. So we are getting the question on this. So these are the different pattern bands of the frequency, that is a beta, alpha, theta and delta. So this frequency band you have to draw, and you have to give the explanation for each band. Delta 1 to 3 hertz or 0 to 3 hertz. This band has a frequency of 3 hertz or lesser. It tends to be the highest in amplitude and the lowest frequency. This wave is normally observed in sleeping infants. Theta. The frequency range is 3 to 8 hertz. This wave has a frequency band of 3 to 8 hertz. The presence of this wave is taken as a perfectly normal in children up to age of 13 years and in sleeping adults. Third band is the alpha wave. This wave has a frequency band of 8 to 13 Hz. This wave appears when closing the eyes and relaxing, and disappears when opening the eyes for altering by any mechanism like thinking or calculating. If it is the major rhythms seen in normal relaxed adult persons. Beta wave. This frequency is above 13 Hz up to 30 Hz. This wave represents a fast activity and has a frequency band of 13 Hz and above up to 30 Hz. It is a dominant rhythm in patients who are alert or anxious or have their eye open, and is generally regarded as a normal rhythm. Now we will see the briefly explanation of a typical EMG waveform. That is the EMG means electromyogram is there. The contraction of the skeletal muscles results in the generation of action potentials in the individual muscle fibers. Record of this potential is called electromyogram, that is the EMG. So this one is the basic waveform for the EMG. In skeletal potential generated during a contraction and repolarization is fast. The action potential lasting only in few milliseconds only. Similarly, activity is observed in heart muscle, but repolarization is a slow process as compared to the skeletal muscles. Most EMG measurements are made to obtain the indication of the amount of activity of a given muscles or group of muscles rather than of an individual muscle fibers. The EMG pattern is usually the summation of the individual action potential from the fiber consulting the muscle or muscles being studied. In recorded EMG, surface electrodes and needle electrodes are used. For better diagnostic information, needle electrodes are preferred to record the action potential from individual motor units. EMG potential ranges between 50 microvolts to 30 millivolts. Value of potential R may vary with the types of muscles, size of muscles, and location of the electrodes. Now we will see the list of the electrodes. So the electrodes are used to measure bioelectric potential or signals from body. So there are the different types of the electrodes. In that the main types are surface electrode, needle electrode, micro electrodes and other electrodes. So first surface electrodes. So in the surface electrode, plate electrodes, suction cup electrodes, adhesive tape electrode, floating electrode and multipoint electrodes are present. In needle electrode, monopolar needle electrodes, bipolar needle electrodes, concentric core needle electrodes are present. These are the subtypes of the needle electrodes. In microelectrodes, first one is a metal microelectrode, second supported microelectrode, third micropipette electrode. In other types of the electrodes, there are stimulating electrode is there and limb electrodes are there. So this one question you are getting for the 5 marks also, and with explanation also you are getting for the 5 marks. So it depends how you are getting the question. Now we will see the different types of the electrodes used in ECG recording. So in the ECG recording, usually they are using the surface type of the electrodes. So whenever they are asking such question, then you should explain all the surface type of the electrodes. So in this first one electrode is the metal electrode is there. So diagram for this metal electrode as shown below diagram. Metallic plate electrodes are mostly used for recording bioelectric potential in electrocardiography is ECG. It consists of a rectangular or circular plate of a German silver or a nickel plated steel. Electrode jelly is rubbed on the selected part of the body and electrodes are placed at the skin by using rubber strap or a belt, because to fix the electrode we should use the rubber strap or a belt. Next is the suction cup electrode. It is modified metal plate electrode. It is not required straps or adhesive for holding. It is used to record the precardial leads of ECG. It will be moved quickly from one location to other location. It consists of a hollow metallic cylindrical electrode that makes contact with the skin at its base and rubber suction bulb which fits over its top. Its contact area is small, but the total size of this electrode is large enough of this resulting source impedance. So it can produce more distortion in ECG signal. If input impedance of the ECG amplifier is low. So to avoid this distortion or to remove this distortion, they are using or they are preferred high input impedance ECG amplifiers. So this one is the diagram for the suction cup electrode. Next one is the adhesive tape electrode. It consists of a lightweight metallic screen backed by a pad of electrode paste. Pre-jailed. These electrodes are pre-jailed disposable electrodes. Means there is no need to apply the gel whenever we are connecting the electrodes. And it's a disposal, because once you use these electrodes, then you should dispose that electrodes. Means you can use only once. It saves a considerable amount of time, because quickly you can apply these electrodes. It consists of plastic foam material with the silver plated disc on one side. other side attached to a silver plated snap. Once it used, the electrodes are to be disposed. This one is a diagram for the adhesive tape electrodes. Next is floating electrodes. The direct contact of the surface metal plate electrode is a source of artifacts or noise. These problems are eliminated by floating electrodes. In this, actual metal disc is placed in a cavity so that it doesn't make direct contact with the skin. It is made up of silver and coated with silver chloride. So, as shown in diagram, in this insulating dome there is a electrode is there, and this dome is filled with the electrolyte paste only. That is the electrolyte jelly is there. So, there is no direct contact with the skin. Now, we will see the electrodes which are used in the measurement of EEG. So, in the EEG measurement, both electrodes, that is the surface electrodes and needle electrodes, are used for the measurement of the EEG. So, for the above question, you should explain surface electrodes and needle electrodes. Already in previous question, I explained the surface electrodes. Now, we will see the needle electrodes. So, needle electrodes is also called as skin electrodes. And these electrodes are invasive and made up of stainless steel material. In this, first we will see the monopolar needle electrode. It consists of a Teflon coated stainless steel wire. It is bare only at the tip. The needle acts as an active electrode which is inserted into the muscles, and the reference surface electrode is placed on the skin. So, this one is the diagram for the monopolar needle electrode. Second is the bipolar needle electrode. It consists of two insulated wires within a metal cannula. Two wires are buried at the tip and provide the contact to the patient. The cannula acts as a ground. This potential difference between wires is recorded. Means in this, which one potential is recorded, that one is the difference between two electrodes or two metal cannulas or wires. Third is the concentric core needle electrode. In this, both active and reference electrode are with in the same structure. The inner wire is bare at the tip, and this forms one electrode. It may consist of a fine platinum wire molded within a hypodermic needle. The hypodermic needle has an oblique tip for easy penetration. The concentric electrode are used popularly. It gives a highly stable electrical characteristics. So, this one is the diagram for the concentric core needle electrode. Now, we will see the list of the factors which are considered in the selection of physiological transducers. First one is the range. The range of the transducer output should be large enough to include all the expected magnitude of the measurement. Second, sensitivity. The transducer should give a sufficient output signal per unit of measured input. Third is the electrical output characteristics. The electrical characteristics like the output impedance, frequency response, and the response of time of the transducer output signal should be compatible with the recording device. Next, physical environment. The transducer selected should be able to withstand the environmental conditions like temperature, shock, vibration, and moisture. Errors. The errors occur during the transducer operation, or those errors are caused by environmental condition of the measurement, should be small enough or controllable enough as to provide reliable output. So these are the number of the factors we should consider in the selection of a physiological transducer. So on this you are getting the 5 marks question. Now, so for this question, that is the suggest a suitable transducer for monitor oxygen level in blood or blood flow. Otherwise, state the frequency amplitude range and transducer to be used for the following these signals. So for this one, all these questions we should use the next one table. So using this table, which are signals are asked, for those signals only we should write the that amplitude, frequency range, and which transducer is preferred for the measurement of those signals. So this question you are getting either 10 marks, otherwise for the 5 marks.